everyone, Sabrina here from Scrappy Tales Crafts, and today I'll be showing you 10 cards that I created with the Spellbinders November 2019 card kit. So for card 1, I'll actually be creating 2 cards using the same design. The only difference here is you can see that I used the pink bow paper. On one I used it on the bottom, and on the other I used it on the top. And now I'm adding a strip of gold cardstock in between the 2 pattern papers that I chose, and this gold cardstock does come in the kit. Now I'm taking one of the chipboard stickers and I'm layering an ephemera piece behind it. I'm also going to add a little bit of extra glue just to make sure that the sticker won't pop off. And then I'm going to take these 2 candy canes that came in the ephemera pack, and I will add those next to the, I guess, Polaroid looking sticker. And I thought that it would be cute to make the candy canes look like they were tied together with a bow. So I'm going to take the bow stamp that came in the stamp set. I'll ink that up with some gray flannel memento ink, and then I'll just fussy cut that out with my scissors. And then for the panel on the right, I am going to use a hot air balloon ephemera piece instead of the candy canes. So now I'm just going to attach that gray bow, and then I will adhere the candy canes with my art glitter glue. But first I'm going to work on the sentiment. I'm going to stamp out Season's Greetings with my Versamark ink, and then I'll pour some white embossing powder over that. And then for the panel on the right, I'm just going to use a sentiment banner that came in the ephemera pack. And I think I actually created 14, no. Yeah, I think I made 14 cards and 4 tags after using this kit, and I still had leftovers, so I really enjoy working with these kits now. It's my second kit, and I think I will continue being a subscriber to Spellbinders because I'm really enjoying making these cards, and I made them all in a day. And whenever I get my kits, I group all the ephemera pieces together. I usually group them based off their colors, if I like how they match in terms of color. Sometimes I group them in categories, so I usually put all the trees together or all the flowers together, and that kind of helps me come up with some designs quick. Alright, so my little collages are done. I'm going to map both of them with the colored cardstock that came in the kit, and then I will adhere both to a 110-pound white Neenah card base. I am using my own card bases because the ones that come in the kit are pretty flimsy, so I just decided to use my own since they're a little bit heavier. Alright, so we're moving on to card number 2. I'm going to take the poinsettia dies that came in the die set, and I'm going to cut them from the 2 shades of red cardstock that came in the kit. I think I cut each die twice from each of the colored cardstocks so that I'm able to layer them up to create a dimensional flower. I'm also going to create a gold frame using the 2 circles that came in the die set. I'll also die cut one of the ornaments, 2 ornament toppers, the ornament string, and the inside pieces for the poinsettias. And now I'm taking the Oh So Blessed ephemera piece, and I'm going to die cut that with one of the circles that came in the die set to create a perfect circle. And here you can see this gold ornament die cut. I'm going to add that onto a white circle, and then I'll just add the topper. And then for this Oh So Blessed ephemera piece, I'm going to add the gold frame that I die cut, and that just frames the sentiment really nicely. And I will also be making that into an ornament, so I just added a gold topper to that. I am using the gold cardstock that came in the kit for the ornaments and also the insides of these poinsettias. So here you can see I'm layering the poinsettias up. I'm going to use 3, and I'm going to glue those to the top of this pattern paper that was cut to 4 by 5 1/4 inches. I thought it would be pretty to have the poinsettias, I guess, holding on to the ornaments, having the ornaments dangle down from them. So I'm going to place one of the lighter poinsettias in the center and then two darker ones on either side. You can see I also die cut some of the poinsettias from some green cardstock. I will cut apart the petals and make them look like leaves instead. So I'll tuck the leaves underneath the poinsettias. I'm only gluing the centers of the poinsettias to my card panel. That way I can lift up the petals and add some more dimension. For this middle flower, I'm adding some foam tape just to pop it up a little bit more. And here you can see I'm going to tuck in those green leaves now. Just using my art glitter glue. I'm only adding glue to the base because again, I can curl them up and add a little bit more dimension. I'm adding quite a few. And I did create 2 cards of this design as well. I do sometimes create 2 of each design, especially if I think that it will look nice, if it's a nice looking design. It takes a long time for me to come up with a card design, so sometimes I just do 2 to make it worth my while, I guess. I don't do it all the time. It kind of also depends on my mood. Okay, so I did cut that ornament string since I didn't need it to be super long. And now I'm going to mat this layer onto the dark red cardstock that came in the kit, and then I'll trim off the excess before I add that to my white Nina card panel. So I'll just attach that with my ATG tape, and I'm going to show you the other card that I made. Instead of the Oh So Blessed ephemera piece, I used the navy blue ephemera piece that says the most wonderful time of the year. And for this card, I added some gold gems I had in my stash, and I also placed the darker poinsettia in the center this time instead of the lighter one. So there's a close-up. Okay, card 3 is technically tags. There were 2 tags that came in the ephemera pack, so I decided to just dress them up a little bit with one of the poinsettias. I actually die cut a whole bunch of poinsettias before I started making these cards, so I just kind of had a whole pile of them, and I'm just adding them to my projects. It was faster for me to do it that way. And then on the back of this tag, I'm going to add the to and from stamp that came in the stamp set. And the back is very white, so I decided to add a little bit of pattern paper to the bottom of it. So I am taking some scraps that I have and just adding a strip of cardstock to the bottom. And then I'll just flip that over. I'm using the palm of my hand and pressing the center of the flower in with one of my fingers, and that's going to add some dimension to my flower. I'll tuck in a few more leaves, and then I'm taking some plaid ribbon from my stash and I just loop that through the hole, and I'm going to make it extra cute by tying a twine bow over the ribbon. And these were really fast to make. I wanted to make a few tags because I'm about to start gift wrapping, so it's nice to have some tags on hand, and this was really quick to put together. And I did make 2 of those because you do get 2 tags in the ephemera pack. Okay, so here's a close-up of those tags. And for card 4, I'm going to take some of the pattern papers from the paper pad and die cut some stitched rectangle dies from those. And then I'm taking this letterboard ephemera piece and I'm going to cut off the frame and add that to the second letterboard ephemera piece. I'm going to pop it up to add some dimension. And then I'm going to take the navy blue and gold pattern paper. I originally wanted to create a New Year's Eve kind of card, but I think when I added these poinsettias, it looks more like a Christmas card. I'll admit this is not my favorite card. There's always one, you know, that you don't really care for, but that's okay. So I'm going to attach the poinsettias to the back of this navy blue stitched rectangle pattern paper. And then I'm going to glue the 2 champagne glasses together. And like I did with the candy canes, I'm going to attach a bow to make the champagne glasses look like they were tied together. And then I'm going to attach my letterboard using my art glitter glue. And then I'll glue down my champagne glasses right next to the letterboard. And I did gold heat emboss that bow using one of the stamps from the stamp set. And I was going to use that star pattern paper, but I felt that it was too busy, so I'm going to glue it onto a white panel. And I felt that I needed some more poinsettias in the background, so I'm going to take another ephemera piece. I cut it in half so that way I can add 2 so that there's a poinsettia on every corner. I flipped that around, trimmed off the excess, and now I'm going to add some of the gems that came in the kit. I'm using the white ones. Okay, so I'll flip that panel over and attach that to my card base, and that will complete card number 4. For card 5, I wanted to play around with the Oh What Fun ornament that came in the die set. So I die cut that from some gold cardstock, and I'm going to layer that onto a white circle. And I just love that die. I created some Christmas tags using both of the ornament dies that came in the kit. I just added to and from on the back of each ornament. Okay, so now I'm going to attach the ornament string to the back. I'll trim it off so that I can place it behind these ephemera leaves. One is a pine needle, and then this other one is a gold leaf. And then I had a white poinsettia that I assembled off camera. I'm going to attach that poinsettia right on top of those 2 leaves, and then I will have this ornament hanging from the poinsettia. So it's a little bit like the second card, except this time I just used 1 poinsettia instead of 3. I'm also going to tuck in this little leaf that came in the ephemera pack. And I also attached some white leaves that I die cut from the poinsettia dies. And that right bottom corner was a little too sparse for me, so I'm going to take some of the glitter stickers that came in the kit. I am going to glue some stars and the Noel sticker. And then I'll flip that around and attach that to my white Nina card base. And that will complete card number 5. This one was quick to put together, and it's one of my favorites. I love the white and gold combination. Okay, so I'm going to create some more tags here. These tags were included in the ephemera pack. Again, you get 2 of each. So I'm going to attach each tag back to back so that both sides are the same. And that's also going to make my tags a little bit more sturdy. So for both tags, I'm going to take the Do Not Open Until December 25 stamp that came in the stamp set. I'm going to white heat emboss the sentiment on my blue tag, and then for the red tag, I'm going to stamp it with my gray flannel memento ink. So now I'm just going to pour that white powder over my blue tag and heat set that. And then on the back of these tags, I'm going to add the to and from sentiment from the stamp set. And again, I will white heat emboss on the blue tag and stamp with my gray ink on the red tag. And then for the tops of my tags, I'm going to string them through some black and white baker's twine, and then for the red tag, I will string through some red and white baker's twine. So these were really quick to put together, and I love the Do Not Open sentiment. So here's how they turned out. And there's the backs. Okay, for card 6, I went ahead and cut this gray pattern paper to 4 by 5¼ inches. I also die cut a banner from this blue pattern paper. And now I'm taking the ephemera wreath and the other ephemera circle sentiment piece that says the most wonderful time of the year. And I'm going to pop that sentiment up with some foam tape. You can use the foam dots that come in the kit, but they're very dimensional. I like that foam tape isn't quite as high. So once I pop that up, I'm going to flip the wreath over and attach it to my banner. And I love this navy blue pattern paper. It was probably one of my favorites. I love navy blue and red together. I noticed that's kind of popular this year for Christmas. And I think it looks a little bit masculine, which I like. So I went ahead and added foam tape behind my banner and attached that to my gray pattern paper panel. And just to dress this card up a little bit, I'm going to add a gold twine bow to the top of my wreath. And then I'm going to take some of the red gems from the kit and scatter those around. I love the little pops of red in the wreath with the berries, so I thought the red gems would complement that nicely. So here I'm struggling to randomly scatter my gems. And here's a close-up. For card 7, I'm going to create a 5¼ inch square card. And I think for every 10 card video, I have at least one either A7 card or square card. And that is because I loved this pattern paper. I didn't want to cut off one of the sides with the berries showing. I wanted the berries to be on the left and right side. So I decided to opt for a square card here, and I loved how the last card turned out with the sentiment popped up on top of the wreath. So using the other ephemera wreath, I'm going to pop up one of the chipboard stickers that says love, joy, and peace. And that sticker actually had a wreath pattern on it, so it pretty much matches exactly to the ephemera piece. I also created some poinsettias off camera. You saw me make them for card 2. And I made some smaller ones using both of the shades of red cardstock. I thought that would add some interest, but for the larger ones, I kept them within the same color. And then for the centers of each of my flowers, I'm just going to add some gems from my stash. The die set does come with their own centers, so if you want to use that instead, you can, but this was just faster for me. I thought about adding some gold leaves behind my larger poinsettias, but I felt that it wasn't really necessary, so I took them off. And now I'm just going to add some ATG tape to my 5¼ inch square card base. And by the way, this panel was cut to 5 by 5 inches so that there's a 1/4 inch border all around. And that will complete card number 7. I really like this one. I love the poinsettia die that came in the kit. Alright, so we're already on to card number 8. I took some of this blue wood grain pattern paper and cut that down to 4 by 5¼ inches. And now I'm freehand cutting some snowbanks. I haven't created a scene card yet, which is very surprising. So I wanted to try to create one for card 8. I decided to add another snowbank. And I'm going to attach the snowbank in the back with my ATG tape. The middle one I will also adhere with my ATG tape, and then the one, the forefront snowbank, I guess, I added some foam tape. And then I'll flip that panel over and trim off the excess. And if you had a stitched hillside die, you could use that instead. I try to use as minimal supplies as possible. Okay, and then I'm taking the tall and short house from the ephemera pack, and I'm going to tuck those into the snowbanks. I think I decided to use 2 short houses and then the 1 tall house. And I'm also going to use both deer that came in the ephemera pack. I'm also going to add 3 little stars to the sky. So I like how that layout looks. I'm going to pop a few of these elements up with some foam tape. So for this little house, I will glue it flat, and then for the taller house, I'll add some foam dots. I am using the foam that came in the kit this time. And then I added the navy blue deer to the second snowbank, and then the pretty brown deer to the front snowbank, I guess. And I kind of overlap them a little bit. I think that's pretty. And then I will have the brown deer standing on top of the sentiment. This sentiment was from the ephemera pack. It just says Merry Christmas. And I'm loving navy blue with red right now. So this card is one of my favorites. It was really quick to put together. I just used the ephemera, no die cutting necessary. For one of the stars, I will pop it up with a foam dot, and then the other 2 I will just glue flat. Okay, so my scene is finished. I'll flip that over, add some ATG tape, and I believe I just placed that right onto my card base. And I think this covers an entire card base, yes. So I did cut this panel to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and that will complete card number 8. For card 9, I'm going to create a shaker card. So I'm taking a stitched rectangle die from my stash, and I'm going to die cut this pretty tree pattern paper, and then I'm going to take a square stitch die and die cut this pink paper. And then I'm taking the tree ephemera pieces. I'm using all 3 trees. Like I said earlier, sometimes I group things based on what they actually are, so I knew I wanted to create a card with the trees, and those particular trees match the pattern paper from the paper pad, so that is why I grouped them together. So I am gluing them onto this pink square using my ATG tape. I also added a Mary banner to the top. And then I'm taking this gold stitched square frame, and I'm adding some acetate behind it. I did create this gold frame from the gold cardstock that came in the kit, and I am creating 2 of these cards, so you will see that I have 2 gold frames. And now I'm just going to double up my foam tape behind this gold frame. I am using my Scotch 3M. I like to use my U-line tape when I'm adhering larger panels, but when it comes to skinny frames like this, I prefer my 3M because it's not as sticky. Okay, so for the shaker bits, I'm using some recollection sequins I had in my stash. I think I used some iridescent sequins and then some pink hearts. Okay, so I'll peel off the backing of my foam tape and just attach that right over my trees. And that's how the shaker turned out. This is really cute. Okay, so now I'm taking that tree pattern paper that I cut from my stitched rectangle die. I'll add that stitch square to the top. And then on the bottom, I thought it would be cute to add this joy ephemera piece. And it is gold foiled, so it matches the gold frame. I'll just adhere that joy flat with my art glitter glue. I trimmed off the little J a little bit so that it didn't overhang too much. Now I'm going to mat it onto some pink cardstock that came in the kit and attach that to my A2 card base. And that will complete card number 9. Super cute. This one's one of my favorites. I love these little trees. For my final card, I'll be creating another pink card, and I'm going to use the stocking die cut pieces. For this middle stocking, I added a pink bow, and I'm also going to give each stocking some candy. So I'm taking all of the candy die cuts and I'm adding a little bit of glue so that I can attach them behind each stocking. I thought that was a cute idea. I really love how this card turned out. It's one of my favorites. I am going to add 2 strips of gold behind this pattern paper. I like to break up my pattern papers with strips of cardstock, so I just used up the last bit of gold I had left over. Trim off the excess here. And then I'm going to pop up each of these stockings with my 3M foam tape. And for this middle one, I glued it a little bit downwards. And then for the other 2, I glued them higher up. I'm not sure why I did that, but I like it. Okay, so I added some foam tape behind the strip of pattern paper, and I will just attach that to another piece of pattern paper cut to 4 by 5 1/4 inches. And then I'm going to add special delivery to the bottom. And then I will attach that to a colored cardstock that came in the kit. And then I will attach that to my card base. And that will complete card number 10. So here is a close-up of card 10, and now I'm going to show you all 10 cards I created with the Spellbinders November 2019 card kit. Like I said earlier, I came up with 10 designs, but I did double up on some of them, so I think I came out to 14 cards and 4 tags, which is amazing. And I still honestly could have probably made 10 more cards since I had a lot of leftovers. And if you would like to see my leftovers, I can include that in future videos. You can let me know if you would like that. And if you want some more information regarding measurements and that sort of thing on how I made these cards, you can go over to my coordinating blog post. And the kit, I don't know if it's sold out, but they don't sell the kit anymore, but they do sell the stamp set and the ephemera pack separately. So I will make sure to link everything down below in case you want to grab the ephemera pack or the stamp set. And thank you guys so much for watching. And if you haven't yet already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And let me know which card was your favorite. I think the one with the deer is my favorite. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!